Why I haven't been posting recently. In 2006, I was working as an analyst at Petsky Prunier, and I got a really bad cold. When I did a Google search, the symptoms that I was displaying were very similar to the whooping cough, where I had a persistent cough and it was like a low hum, and I had a very high fever. It was really bad. In fact, my managing director, Sanjay Chadha, wanted me to go home, but then at the same time, he would give me work. So I felt that it was best to stay in the office despite the fact that I was really sick. The problem was that it took me about 2 to 2.5 weeks to get better. But then after that time, I had persistent post-nasal drip. So I remember one time when I was at a nightclub called Lotus, and I had to take the napkins and then shove them up against my nose because there was always like a clear liquid that was coming out. Additionally, I used to sing a lot. In high school and also in Cornell, I used to sing. But after having this illness, it completely destroyed my vocal cords because of the constant coughing and the inflammation. In fact, to this day, my voice has still not recovered. The biggest issue that I had after catching this cold or the whooping cough or whatever it was it started to negatively impact my sleep. And I felt that there was more pressure in this side of my face. So I got a CAT scan. It showed that my left inferior turbinate was inflamed. Now, most people have 3 turbinates. The inferior turbinate is the bottom one, and that's the largest one with the most surface area. Then you have a middle turbinate, and then your remaining turbinate is actually the smallest. So most people, when they have problems breathing, it's due to swelling in the inferior turbinate, whether it's caused by allergies or whether it's caused by something else. Well, I ended up getting 2 inferior turbinate reductions. The first was done via RFID or radio frequency, and then the second was done using heat, something called cauterization. And then this definitely helped my sleep. The last time I got this done was in 2014. It was a very quick procedure. It was in and out, done through local anesthesia. And that basically improved my sleep for the next 5 years. Unfortunately, starting around 2019, I started experiencing some sleep issues, but it wasn't that dramatic where I would do an occasional neti pod, or I would use one of those Neomeds where you apply pressure to a bottle and you add some salt and baking soda, and then it decreases the inflammation. However, I caught COVID in February 2022, and even though I was fine after 3 days, the issue was that my turbinates still did not shrink back to where they were before. So since I caught COVID in February, I've been struggling to sleep. And oftentimes what happens is I'll feel a lot of pressure in this side of my face, and oftentimes I'll wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I won't be able to fall back asleep because this entire side of my face is clogged. So basically I've been struggling over the past few months to sleep. And when you only sleep like 4 to 5 hours a night, it's really, really difficult because I'm lacking energy. It's more difficult for me to think clearly, and I really need to get this thing straightened out. So unfortunately, that's actually the primary reason why I haven't been posting that often, basically because I'm experiencing some brain fog and my mind is not as clear as it was previously. And also, I just simply lack the energy. I'm more tired than I used to be. And I'm spending a lot of time with my students. And during usual times when I'm sleeping well, when I would have the energy to record videos, I now find myself going to sleep earlier, yet my overall sleep quality is not nearly as good as it used to be. So I'm scheduled for an MRI this upcoming week. So hopefully it will show that I have some inferior turbinate inflammation, and then the doctor will go in and either do a balloon sinuplasty to open up that area, and perhaps he'll even combine it with a reduction of the inferior turbinate. Now, I am definitely a little bit concerned about getting something called atrophic rhinitis, which means that the mucosa in your inferior turbinate, if it gets damaged, then it stops moisturizing the air as it comes into your nostril. And then frequently what happens is that you get a lot of dry nose and things of that nature. I never experienced any of those symptoms during my 2 previous inferior turbinate reductions, but I definitely want to reduce the likelihood of that happening. So over the past 2 months, I've actually been using a lot of nasal sprays. I've been using this one, this X-Clear with xylitol. I've been using this one, which is also really good. And I've also made a few nasal sprays. Here's a peptide, which is TB500, which reduces inflammation. And I use this already, but I have some colloidal silver in here. And this actually helps tremendously. It has reduced the inflammation. But that's basically what's been going on. I've been having a lot of sleeping issues. I've been having brain fog. Other than that, I feel fine. But if you really want to torture someone, then interrupt their sleep. Because without high quality sleep, then things become really, really difficult. I definitely find that my mood is not nearly as good as it used to be. I'm more agitated. It's harder for me to think clearly and to remember things. Am I really confident that this is going to get resolved within the next month or 2? Yeah, I am, because I had the same thing happen to me about 8 years ago and I got it resolved. But there is no guarantee, so hopefully everything is going to snap back to normal. And that's basically why I have not been posting nearly as much, because I haven't had the energy in order to create new content. So leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts, let me know if you've ever struggled with this, and I encourage you to watch another video right here because YouTube believes that that would be a video that you would greatly enjoy.